Hey everyone, before we start the video, I just want to say that I got a new mic. It's Blue Yeti, so that's really cool and I really love it. Unfortunately, this is my first time using it in Audacity, so if everything does sound a bit wonky, don't worry about it. I assure you the next video will be much better, as I will have fully learned the tricks and secrets to my mic. So anyway, I do think this video is some pretty good content, regardless of my opinion on the mic quality, but that's just me, I guess. Anyway, I'll see you all in the next one. Have a swell day. Peace out. Hello everyone, welcome to a new How to Play Heavy. Today we are talking about the Mann vs Machine game mode. This game mode is for 6 players to fight a series of robot waves, while each wave gets progressively harder and harder. The player collects money to upgrade their weapons and stats. The standard meta for this game mode is Soldier, Demo, Engineer, Medic, and of course Heavy. The Heavy's role is to focus hard enemies. Usually focus large enemies such as giants, tanks, etc. So usually the Heavy should be near a dispenser so he never runs out of ammo. This is all basic information, and I'm sure you didn't come here for that. But before we can talk about the fun stuff, we should cover the big problems. The first big problem are giants. Giant soldiers, giant heavies, giant scouts, you name it. They're somewhat of a challenge and can always be a hassle for a heavy. The next are tanks. They will never stop moving until they are destroyed. Also, they have minigun resistance. The tank has 75% minigun retardant on. So that's a fairly big issue for you, the heavy. The third and final problems are spies. Very obvious, but they can still get you. Everything else is pretty easy, so don't sweat the small stuff. So let's talk about loadouts before we get into the meat of it. 9 out of 10 times I recommend the Brass Beast. In MvM you never really need to advance, so there isn't that much of a cripple for using it, other than Sentry Busters. But even then you can see them coming a mile away. Now in the off chance you don't need a Brass Beast, I'd recommend running Natasha. Really useful for Super Scouts and Medics. The only situation I'd recommend running this is on a map with no tank, like Manhattan. However, if there is a tank, use the Brass Beast. It slightly helps you with the tank's resistance to miniguns. It brings it down to about 55%. The secondary should always be a sandwich. Fairly simple, you just toss it down for your team. Nothing too special here. Now the third and final weapon is the Fists of Steel. I never want to see any of you guys using the Goru or even the Eviction Notice in MvM. You should almost always have a telly, and if you don't, you're defending. You don't need to get to the front lines fast. That's why you have a ready up system. Also, if you don't have a telly and you somehow die mid-wave, a medic can still revive you. It's very rare you ever have to walk all the way up to the front lines mid-game, thus making speed gaining melees obsolete. However, the Fist of Steel is good to retreat if you're low on HP or just need to get out of a situation. Also, the KGB isn't a bad option either. Bit of a more silly one, just going around one-hitting robots left and right, but it is fun and works nonetheless. Now as the waves progress, upgrades are very important, so I recommend getting resistance at the very beginning and maxing them out before halfway through the game. Once you're satisfied on that front, buy firing speed to the third blip. The fourth one is a bit overkill, so don't really need to worry about that. Another crucial thing is knockback rage. Just buy one of these before mid-game. It can push back giants, medics, sentry busters, you name it. Projectile penetration is useful, but I wouldn't prioritize it. Destroy projectiles is something that's very useful. I only buy one of these as you only need one for the effect to really kick in. You don't need to waste all your money on the upgrades. Just buy one. Usually I buy 1, maybe 2 ammo increase, but these are not heavily demanded as you are next to a dispenser most of the time. Health on kill is optional. It is a bit useless, but if it makes you feel safer, then buy it. You don't need to upgrade your sandwich or melee, but if you do buy canteens, buy Uber canteens. It allows you to body block giants. Speaking of body blocking, Super Scouts. That's what you do to them. Body block like there's no tomorrow. Unless you're running Natasha, then you don't really need to. Still kind of useful, but you don't have to. Any other case though? Body block them. Once a Super Scout gets past, it's pretty much over. Unless someone from your team can save it, the wave is as good as lost. Another thing that you can do that's useful for your team is kill Sentry Busters. For my experiments, if a Sentry Buster is killed by a hit scan weapon, it despawns. If a single projectile hits it, it will blow up once you kill it. But if you just target it by yourself and the rest of the team doesn't attack it, it can really be useful as it won't blow anything else up. Also, Sentry Busters are good to build an Uber and knockback rage off of. Snipers can be a problem if untreated. Same goes for engineers. Soldiers and demos should really take care of these, but if they are preoccupied, you should be able to wipe out the engineers flat. Snipers, like in regular TF2, are still a problem for you. Spies are very easy to see. Just fire out the duplicates of one class. You should almost never have 2 of the same, so when you hear the "Alert! There are spies coming!" just mow down all the friendly characters coming towards you. If you follow these steps, you should be fairly well off in MvM. There are a couple of map-specific things that I didn't cover, like where to hold or where to push giants, that type of stuff. But as you play, you should be able to figure this out. As always, I hope this was interesting or at least entertaining. Have a swell day. Peace out.